Hey, here we are. It is.
What's going on, guys?
Right, it's Wednesday, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Is it Wednesday?
It is.
It is.
So we got Alec from AR Comics, and as always, our buddy John.
It's a big day.
John is finally back.
John is finally back. Well, he was here last Wednesday, right?
Nope.
No, I was here last Wednesday. That's when you.
That's right. You were here on Monday. That's right. That's right.
I didn't like the books that came out last Wednesday, so I skipped it.
So we got JD Berry. What's going on, buddy? Dave Cerrone in the house. Stevie B, Adrian, and Ron. What's going on, guys? And Stevie B, I can't. Stevie B sent me an email. There is a Yahtzee version of a spam version of the game Yahtzee. I didn't get a chance before the show to look it up, so I don't know if Stevie B was joking or if there really is. I don't see the connection. Yahtzee and spam. I'm not saying it. I don't get it.
Well, there's a lot of games that have themes now, traditional board games, right? A couple of years ago for Christmas, somebody got, because I love Hitchcock movies, somebody got me a Hitchcock board game of Clue.
See, that makes sense to me.
Like the whole board is in black and white.
Right. Well, that makes sense to me. Okay, spam Yahtzee. I don't see where that's going, but hey, I'd be interested in buying it. Sheldon, what's going on, buddy? So we got new comic book day here. I know I was talking to AR about it yesterday, and I'm going to let you two take off with that a little bit. What do you see, John, coming up this week that you're excited about?
Well, I mean, I've spent about half the day talking about Dynamite stuff, so I'll shoot that over to the side. It's almost like a little bit of a, self-serving.
I saw
message.
Your Facebook post. Is that why your dog had that sad look on his face? Like, oh my God, he's talking
Wednesdays
about Dynamite
are a bad day for my dog to get a walk, man.
Poor dog was sitting there with his hand on the recliner arm. He looks so sad. He just looks so sad.
Well, you know what? Wednesdays are like my day where it is new comic book day, right? So first of all, I want to make sure I shut this off. First of all, I'm He's a beautiful dog, by the way. Even looking very sad. She's incredibly spoiled, is what that dog is. But,
so are my dogs. It's all good.
Probably the thing I would have to say the thing I'm the most impressed with is the consistency. Not any specific book, but I am impressed with the consistency. Let's be honest. Comic book movies, skyrocketing. Comic books, not skyrocketing as much as the movies. It didn't move
at the same trajectory as the movies.
And I'm super impressed with another week. I look at the books that have come out, and I'm like, this is another really good week. And in my mind, I'm thinking, how far back have I gone? And I contributed to a comics vlog earlier today, and I said, I'm having a hard time remembering the last new comic book day that was just like you opened your phone, you looked at what came out, you shut your phone off, and you didn't even go to the store.
Right.
I mean, you might have a different take on this than I do, but I'm super impressed with the fact that they're able to keep the level high. I mean, we're dealing with pandemic and shortages and all these other things, but the books still kind of keep coming out. And I wish there was a way to make a better connection between the people that are spending a fortune on movies. I got tons of people on my timeline. They've gone to see Spider-Man every day. Right. I mean, literally every day they went to see Spider-Man 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row. And I would love if maybe those people would take one of those tickets, which is probably $15-20, and take it over to their local comic book store and pick up 3 or 4 issues of something new.
So Preston's in the house. What's going on, Preston? And Dave says John Paul Leon's work on Batman Catwoman seems to be the home run of the week. So what do you?
I would say that, like I said, there was a couple things this week that were really kind of jumped out at me. But that in particular, I mean, his work is his work. I mean, I can't, you know what I mean? To me, he's one of those artists where all I have to do is say his name. That's it. There are certain.
And do you disappear, or is there something?
No, like I mean, there's certain writers.
I think a genie comes out.
I'll keep saying the name.
We've talked about this before, like Donny Cates and James Tynion the 14th or whatever. Essentially,
it's an I and a V, so that's 4.
Essentially, all you.
I know
have
you're as old
to
as
do,
I am. We had to learn Roman numerals.
Essentially, all you have to do is say the name, and as as a comics reader, as a customer in the store, you're fairly confident that I'm going to buy this book and it's going to be okay. I'm going to be okay, even if it's not initially my thing. And the example I always use for that is Something is Killing the Children.
Right.
Literally, I had someone say to me, read this, just buy it and read it. And I did. Like sight unseen. I saw his name. I bought it sight unseen. It turned out to be one of the best things I've read in the last 2-ish years, maybe.
So
it's definitely up there.
Yeah. So I just want to jump in here from the chats, right? So Nick is having a Chick-fil-A spicy chicken sandwich, and I want to get and John jokingly mentioned something about I don't see Chick-fil-A for the entire class, and I want to say this because we've had over the months, we've had pizza passing by me and John, pizza boxes, the delivery guy whose butt was blocking the camera.
That was the highlight of the season.
That was pretty funny. You were trying to get him to move, and I'm just sitting there laughing, cracking up.
I haven't eaten today. Food talk will elicit a hangry response.
Oh, I listen.
I'm pretty hungry too.
I had a granola bar.
Way early, so I'm going to be hangry too. But this will kind of segue into it. So I want our viewers to jump in. If Nick's going to bring food to these shows on Monday and Wednesday night, don't you feel, viewers, not asking Nick, asking viewers, don't you think he should be bringing us some chicken sandwiches? A taco truck? I'm not even saying taco truck, but I like Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches too.
I actually had Chick-fil-A last night.
You should at least be sending them to your producer.
Anything, right? Although
Otherwise,
I gotta be honest with you, Kyle.
Screen.
It's probably going to get a little cold sending it all the way to Ohio, but
they're going to priority mail
right
it
here, right? Me and John, we're right here. A value meal with some waffle fries and a medium.
I don't know about you. I'm assuming that's Nick's concern for my health and not to eat so much food.
JD Berry wins the prize. Excellent response. Sharing is caring. Yes, yes. You win it, JD. That was excellent, my friend.
The hoist on his
own.
Yeah,
I like what you did there. I like that. That's right. That's right. Every time Nick says sharing is caring, I'm going to bring up
two different people here.
Oh my gosh! Well done, sir. Well done. And Dave Cerrone says Nick should be bring the food that leads to the biggest discounts. I'll eat a veggie sandwich. Okay, he gets the good ones from Rostelli's. Yeah, these are nice. These are good sandwiches. I mean, even without the animal protein.
You ever seen a line at a Chick-fil-A? I'm surprised Nick made it back in time.
Yeah, right.
I mean, seriously, you roll into a Chick-fil-A. I mean, I don't know if you left here at 2 p.m. to get a sandwich, but when you go to get a sandwich at Chick-fil-A, there's the test pattern.
Come on, Kyle. Just call Grubhub and get some Chick-fil-A, brother.
Get his sandwich, man. So you go to a Chick-fil-A, that's a 60-minute investment in time.
Oh, easy.
Unless you're there first thing in the morning.
What's
that's
the point,
a long line, man.
The only time I have a craving for Chick-fil-A turns out is Sunday. It happens the vast majority of Sundays I'll be dry. I remember, especially when my daughter was playing softball, I'm like, hey, let's go get Chick-fil-A. And she turned and she goes, Dad, it's Sunday. I'm like, man.
Yeah, but
and by Monday, I've forgotten about it.
See, I think that's almost... I am not the biggest fan of them being closed on a Sunday, but it works for them. They make it work.
Yeah, well, they're still very profitable.
It's not like people abandon Chick-fil-A. You ever see a Chick-fil-A like Saturday night at 8 o'clock when they get ready to close? Everybody's trying, especially during football season, everybody's trying to get their like platters to pick up to reheat on Sunday. It's like a whole thing, man. People absolutely sort of they love Chick-fil-A. There's no.
All right, Ron says Nick was looking for a book for him and he needed the protein to power through the search. He just sends an email to all of us and we're the ones powering through. So we need the protein more than he does. All right, so real quick, we always start off with this. So I'm going to just throw it out there. So Dynamite 10-pack reader set. Most of our regular viewers know exactly what it is. If you're new to the show, it is 10 random Dynamite titles with a cover price of $3.99 or higher. So a retail price of $40 or higher. And as always, we have it for $5 as kind of a gift to our viewers and to pretty much just if you haven't read Dynamite comics, it's a great way to get started.
If you haven't read Dynamite comics, log off. I don't want you to shop.
If you buy more than one, we will do our best to try and make sure they're not duplications. If you buy too many, there's no guarantee that we're going to be able to do that. But again, happy to do this for our viewers out there. And so that's always available. It's available every show, and it's 50 cents a copy. So you really can't go wrong. Even if, and I know John hates it when I say this, even if you got all 10, you read all 10, and you hated it, okay, which John can't believe could ever exist.
What?
Yeah, exactly. See, look at that shock face.
What?
It's 50 cents a copy. I don't know.
Well, they're great for gifts. I mean, we had a ton of people talking about they were great for stocking stuffers at Christmas time.
Oh, yeah.
We had people talking about they were great at Halloween.
Right.
Instead of giving out candy, or maybe you didn't want to give out candy because of the pandemic or whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
They're just great. They're really good if you have that, if you work with the right kind of people and you get that, it's someone's birthday and it's a $10 limit or whatever, right?
Right.
It really sort of fits into a lot of, it ticks a lot of boxes other than I just want to get comics for 50 cents each that I'm going to read. Before we move on, I was trying to remember the name of this book. I love this book. This is the guy that draws Something is Killing the Children. And the 5th issue came out today. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you right now, if you're not reading this, you should think about reading it because it's really cool. It's called He Who Fights with Monsters.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
I was trying to remember the exact name of it because I didn't want to botch it when we were talking about this. This book is really cool. I'll tell you right now, it's not like it's not sword and sorcery. It's not capes. It's not. This is just sort of this is real this is real foundational storytelling, and the creator does a great job. I mean, if you've seen the art on Something is Killing the Children, you know that the creator sort of is real grounded. You know what I mean? You're not getting like this weird sort of it's dark, but it's not like trendy stylish. You know what I mean? 20 years from now, someone will crack open a copy of Something is Killing the Children. You'll be like, oh, wow, this is really good. Where some art styles, let's be honest, right? 20 years from now, you're going to be like, ugh, what were you thinking? Because I know sometimes we read books from 20 years ago, and we're like, why are the feet so small?
They're small.
Absolutely check that out. I mean, I don't want to arm twist anybody, but
no, that is a really cool series, though.
Something you read this week that really sort of.
So Neil in the house, welcome Neil as always. Adrian, you spelled Yahtzee wrong. I just want to point that out. Stevie B, buddy, the pie sandwich is by far the best, but they don't have cheese. That's my only problem with the pie sandwich. So, all right. So because Ron wrote Squirrel, we're going to throw out the first statue, or the statue of the night, which is always his best offer at the end of the night. So we have and Amy, when you get a sec, if you don't mind looking up the dimensions for us, we have Frank Thorne, Red Sonja, 45th anniversary, black and white Berserker edition collector statue. Suggested retail of $275. That's going to be our best offer of the night statue. And it's starting, the best offer starting at $73 for 1973 when Red Sonja first appeared. And while Amy's looking up the dimensions, hold on, I'm just going to pull this real quick.
It's going to be between 7 and 12 inches high and 3 and 5 inches wide.
Than all the other boxes.
I just
want to point out, okay? This is the box.
The box in and of itself is really cool.
Box compared to John for relative size purposes. Yeah. Let me see if it actually has.
This has got to be, at least
12 and a half high?
12 and a half.
12 and a half inches high.
Like 12 by 6 or something, if I remember looking at this before.
I'm sorry, say again?
3 1/4 base.
All right, so 3 1/4, 12 and a half inches high, 3 1/4, 3 1/4 inches wide at the base. All right, so that is a best offer item, and Preston's already in for 73. Gotcha, Preston. All right, so for any new viewers out there, just so you know, we have two types of claims. We have a buy it now claim. So we'll throw up a price. First person to put in the chat, they claim it, it goes to them. And then we have best offer of the night claims. And we'll tell you what they are, and we'll have a starting number. And then by 7:55, the person with the best offer will take that prize. And Kyle will throw up a clock as we get closer and an end line as well. And Ron is in it for 80. Gotcha, Ron. Then this is the Frank Thorne Red Sonja statue. All right.
For a lot of people, this is sort of like, we talked about this on Monday, right? Like the iconic Vampirella image. You can make the case that this is the iconic Red Sonja image.
Right.
We've had a ton of really talented creators work on Red Sonja. For some people, and if you kind of hang out in most characters, and here's the other thing I wanted to mention for people. If you have a character if you have a favorite character that's not like Batman or Spider-Man or someone like insanely popular, right? Like if I told you there are like 1,000 fan groups on Facebook for Spider-Man, you'd be like, dude, I think that's a low count. But when you have when you're a fan of characters, Vampirella, Red Sonja, maybe they're not quite as popular. There are still a ton of Facebook groups for these characters. I belong to a bunch of them. Probably the most sort of contentious debate we have in this group is what's the seminal Red Sonja image? Is it Frank Thorne? Is it maybe something that's come along?
Right.
We've had Walt Giovanni on the show. You know what I mean? And, him, and as far as modern runs go, I think, Walt and Gail Simone's run is sort of, the benchmark that everyone's trying to hit. We've also had a few really cool versions of Red Sonja. I mean, and I'm not even counting Sonjaversal. I'm talking about before Sonjaversal. Now we have, creators. If you follow different creators on social media, they will throw up versions of stuff all the time.
Right.
Even they get tired of doing Wolverine every week. You know what I mean? Like I understand, they have to.
Or Batman.
Nobody gets tired of doing Batman, unfortunately, but me.
Except John.
I'm with you on that.
Yes. You have an app.
And it's not me. For a long time I got punked by Rex for thinking there's too much Batman. You know who else commented that there's too much Batman?
Why did you guys have Amy hide my food?
Well,
we didn't hide it, my friend.
I know it's crumbs on my shirt.
It's
crumbs on my shirt. Finish that last fry. If you follow him, I know, right? If you follow him on Twitter,
I thought you wanted to make sure that I gave the discounts.
No discounts tonight. Hangry man.
Hangry Nick gives no discounts.
Right. You should give Kyle a call. He's hungry too, so you guys can be hangry together. So Emmanuel is joined us. Hey, what's going on? Let's see. And there's actually a question for AR from Emmanuel. Cool. We'll let Alec go ahead and answer that. Can you see it, Alec?
Yes. So, what has my experience on Whatnot been so far? Notice it's more seller friendly and people tend to overpay on certain books. I think it comes down to, I guess, how many people are in there. I've seen a lot of auctions where there are, I don't know, say maybe 50 to 60, 70, 80 people. And like last night, Spider-Man 2099, issue number 1, his description of it, he's like, yeah, it's around the near mint, but it could be near mint +2. So it's a pretty kind of, I don't know, very vague description of a book. And that's like a $10, $15 book. I get with him being included in the upcoming Miles Morales movie, a little bit more expensive. Sold for, I think, $82. That's ridiculous to me. I'd say for the most part, it comes down to that. I've seen a lot of sellers be on there that haven't had a lot of luck, but then on the same spectrum of that, I've seen sellers that have 100, 200 people in there. And I don't want to say they're putting up, not junk, but they're not high-end books. It's kind of, a couple dollar books, and they're selling for like $15, $20.
Gotcha.
It just comes down to luck. I've been having a ton of fun on it. If you didn't know already, I'm full-time at my LCS, and I do their comic book auctions. It's been an absolute blast.
So real quick, Lars Man, I'm sorry to hear that, Lars Man. Lars Man has to go to a viewing tonight, so I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, God bless, man. Sorry about that.
We don't have any Spider-Man, but I guarantee you I will put some Spider-Man on there for Monday's show. But let me get to the mega pack real quick. So we have the Justice League of America Deluxe mega set. This one I loaded up. This one's the JLA Deluxe mega set on steroids. So this is Justice League of America number 1, blank variant, ultra limited edition, signed by Steve Orlando and remarked with a Batman sketch by Ken Hazer. Justice League number 1, signed by Scott Schneider. Detective Comics number 1027, signed and cover sketch art by Ken Hazer with a Batman sketch. Detective 1000, Dynamic Forces exclusive pencil sketch art variant covered by Dan Jurgens. And it is guaranteed CGC 9.8. So that is the mega set of the night. It actually had a suggested retail of $739.96, and it is only $299.99 tonight. All right, so that is the JLA Deluxe mega set. 62 Lefty, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining us.
Before we get into the next Batman book,
Mhm.
we're going to get into the next Batman in a second. But we are, because it's a perfect segue. Jimmy Palmiotti yesterday comments on Twitter that he's getting a lot of feedback from local comic book shops
Okay.
heading up to New Comic Book Day, which was today, that there's a lot of Batman burnout. Like a lot of
Really?
Batman burnout.
Well, the
And
movie's
people-
coming out soon,
And
and
people are sort of, well, I'm just reading this literally from his Twitter feed. He's saying that he's getting feedback. People are cutting pre-orders, they're losing interest, they're looking for other titles to buy. There's like,
interesting.
and he kind of goes through that. Some of the books are great. He has no complaints about the quality of the books. There's just way too many
much
of
of
them.
That's
And,
interesting.
he's sometimes, Palmiotti's more of an old school creator, and he probably believes less is more.
That is interesting.
I mean, would you rather have one good book? And we talked about this a long time ago, I think, when we first started the show. Would you rather have one book come out a month that was really art,
right.
writing, story, everything is cool, maybe a variant here and there, or do you want something to come out every single week of the year, which is watered down?
Right.
Yep.
You
I'm
know what I
100%
mean?
on board with that.
You know what I mean? And I'm not, I know it's become a running joke, Batman, but it's not just Batman. It's Spider-Man,
Yes.
other companies that have like their go-to sort
Keep
of.
going down this track. Alec is going to start screaming "Amen" every now and again.
No, I'm just
No, I
saying
am. Right. Hey.
they're sort of, and of course that will going to contribute to the problem because Rex is going to tell you about Batman Joker Warzone that's slabbed. But the truth is, I would tell people this: if you decide to opt out of a million different, Batman is just, it's endless, right? There's ongoing titles. It seems like there's always something new, ending, finishing. There's a new version of Batman variant. He's the Joker, he's a vampire, he's a zombie, whatever. Take that money and try something else.
Well, what I'm going to do is we're not going to segue in the direction you want to segue into because only because we got a lot of best offer books. So I want to get.
Go ahead. We'll get back to
Give everybody, give everybody enough time. So
We'll get
this one I would call a Ronald special. All right. So we have Flash number 39, blank variant, signed and cover sketch art by Ken Hazer with a Flash sketch. Suggested retail of $89.99. This is going to be a best offer book of the evening. Best offer starting at $19.56 the year Flash first appeared in showcase number 4. So that we have an actual cover art sketch as a best offer book. Ronald says he's waiting for that Batman at Club Med series to start.
Now I got something to add on to with literally what John said. Now I've already talked to you, Rex, about this. Spider-Man, Venom.
Yes.
That's like my favorite. That's my favorite characters right there. When people ask me that, it's very generic, but I really do love those characters. At one point, we literally had the Venom series from Donny Cates, the Amazing Spider-Man run that was coming out every single week. I think there's a Symbiote Spider-Man run, and on top of that, there was also Nonstop Spider-Man, all coming out at once. And then once the Venom series finally wrapped up, it went straight into Extreme Carnage. I was so just symbiote out.
Yeah.
I skipped Extreme Carnage, and that's literally one of my favorite characters. I skipped the entire story of it just because I felt so burnt out from all of that. I stopped reading Spider-Man. I stopped picking up Nonstop. I didn't even read that Symbiote Spider-Man run. And I was like, man, these are my favorite characters. And it's a complete overload. I do not want all of this. And the stories were good too.
See, I'm envious. I wish I could suffer like from Green Hornet overload. With the one book every 3 years, it's sort of spaced out so I can get some creative breathing room.
So Ron is going to make an offer to get us started at $20 on the Flash number 39 blank variant. All right, Ron, I got you, buddy.
I'm surprised Nick is letting that go. If I wouldn't sell that if
I like it.
Emmanuel says I really don't like Skittle symbiotes. I actually have a very controversial topic we can talk about. something that happened September, October. We'll get back to that later in the show. But all right, let's do another best offer book so we can leave enough time for everybody to get in on it.
Good Lord, how many of these did you pull?
I don't determine which
19.
ones are best offer. So, all right, FF number 1 signed by Matt Fraction. That is also going to be a best offer book of the night. And it is a suggested retail of $29.99. It is going to be a best offer starting at $10. And Matt Fraction is getting harder to get signatures from because he's really just not doing as much comics.
He's migrating more to like screenplays. And
he's just, he's kind of peeling away. I don't want to say peeling away, but certainly doing less, as a comic creator.
Not only that, but this particular book he signed 50 issues of. He signed 50 copies of.
Right.
This is number 4. It's a nice low number because I know a lot of people, when they get like the limited number stuff, they want the lower number, the lowest number possible.
All right. So Preston is going to start us off at 10. All right. Got you down, Preston. All right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying this is 4 of 50. And tagging on to what you just said, fraction signatures are going to be harder to get.
Right. And
proportionately, the price will be higher.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing less in the comic book world, as you say, screenplays and things of that nature. So, I saw
something one day on Twitter where people were talking about, and this is a little weird. I don't know why people do this. Like, some people know Matt Fraction is married to Kelly Sue DeConnick, right? Also,
I did not know that.
I think he is. I think that's his wife. Well, like they're asking her what he's doing, and I just wanted to say I see this a lot. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you want to @ Fraction on social media or something and ask him what he's doing, that's great. Asking someone's spouse or significant other or brother or whatever, I don't know if I do that. That's
I better tell Nick to stop calling your wife. Can you keep John at home?
You know what? She's calling him. Could you do more shows? That's their conversation every day. It's split screen, and they're each on the phone saying the same thing.
I say let's bring your dog in.
The dog will pop ratings on this show.
Yeah, you just don't want to do it because
don't make this dog sad. Buy this book. It's only $700.
All right. So, oh my gosh. All right, we got to go to our first break. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Good thing Kyle's paying attention.
Kyle's trying to find food.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
And we're back.
We are back.
That was
What's
quick.
up?
All right. So, all right, let's get to the next, best offer book. All right, and just so I didn't even complete to the new viewers out there. Your flashlight's on.
I know my flashlight's
You're
on.
trying to guys, John.
Sorry.
You're blinding me. Not that sight is very important for this, but I can't read the chats anyway half the time. So so we have the buy it nows and the best offer of the nights, and also at certain points during the show, our producer Kyle will throw up the link to our subscription form. Please fill that out. That's really important because we will invoice you, but we need your real name if it doesn't match up with your screen name, and we need a ship to address and contact information like an email or anything like that. You are also free to email me at rex.wang@dynamite.com with any questions that you may have, any books you'd like to see on the show. Generally speaking, we like our viewers to contribute and let us know what they like to see more of. I know Ron has done it. And a few other viewers are regular
Well, this is a
viewers.
good time to mention this too. I mean, the viewers make the show.
Yes,
We
absolutely.
appreciate
Facts.
everybody taking the time out to enjoy us. I mean, Alec does it for the $7, but $7 is $7.
Just wait until we have the brewery remote. Boy, that's gonna be one heck
I know,
of a
right?
bill.
But we want to thank everybody. We realize there's tons of options, tons of content out there. And absolutely message Rex with a ton of stuff because that's what I do, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, really? I never get your emails. I don't know why.
It
I
goes
must be
to
that
junk.
folder I have that's marked John.
This isn't you, not Rex at Dynamite.
It just loops right into my junk. Yeah, I had the IT guy fix it up.
.com, C-O-N. It's
I
like,
said, anything from John Cole, right in that junk folder, please.
Hey, but on a serious note, I do have a quick question for John. So I was talking to you about this, Rex, yesterday on my stream with the books that were coming out this week. Wasn't able to find the back issues for Sheena or the Dracula Unholy or Vampirella Dracula Unholy. Have you read either of those? I'm honestly really interested in them.
yeah.
I would venture to take a guess that the answer would be yes.
Well,
Yes.
I have to ask. Can you tell me what it's about a little bit? I mean, I could obviously read a description, but it's always better hearing it from someone who thoroughly enjoys it.
Sheena is sort of getting, I don't want to say a facelift because that seems kind of, that seems a little bit kind of like
Beverly
cliche or yeah. Sheena is sort of, every creator tries their new take, right? They try to put new energy into the character. Characters like Sheena previously, before the Dynamite era, they wound up just being a girl in like a leopard print outfit or whatever.
Right.
Dynamite, the leopard print outfit stayed because it's iconic, but they've tried to dig a little bit more into, what does it mean to be a queen of the jungle? You know what I mean? What are the responsibilities? And I don't want to make the book seem like it's some kind of slow-moving social commentary, but there's more relevance to it than her beating up poachers. I mean, let's be honest. 50 years of Tarzan comics and comic strips is him beating up poachers.
Right.
This is a little bit more of a, I guess I would have to say it's a little bit more of a deeper dive. It makes you think a little bit more. Vampirella Dracula Unholy. This has been building up. This is the 50th anniversary of Vampirella. This is something that's been leading up for a long time, for at least, and I would probably say Tom Snagowski would correct me if I was wrong, but Snagowski, Nancy Collins, even Kate Left to a certain point, all these people dabbled into this chemistry, not always pleasant, volatile chemistry between Vampirella and Dracula, right? Because in literary terms, Dracula is kind of like King of the Undead, but, Vampirella is outside that. So there's always a lot of friction. Sometimes they're cool with each other. Sometimes they're not. We've led up to a story where Vampirella and Dracula decided, look, why don't we get married and see how it goes? There's I would not be surprised at some point if you saw a version in the Vampyverse of the two of them just ruling the planet as Lords of the Undead. This is sort of one of the things I like about this, and I've talked about this in comics in general, because of the nature of comics, there can't be too much generationalism, right? Like Peter Parker is 70. We can never have Peter Parker be 70 unless it's an alternate reality story, right? It's fine for Vampirella to not age. Now, what you've got the creators doing is they're not editing anything out. Dracula doesn't age, Vampirella doesn't age. So these are people that have known each other longer than most readers have been alive.
Right.
So this isn't like that crazy a leap that something finally happens and they decide, look, I guess we had Vampirella 50 where the wedding took place, and then it moved into Vampirella Dracula Unholy.
So in your quick, so in your opinion, someone who's not, too knowledgeable on Vampirella, you don't think this is probably the best place to begin? I mean, obviously you get a compendium or a hardcover, but just to casually pick up this.
Normally, it's funny. Normally I would say anything Dynamite, pick it up, because everybody knows like a Dynamite super fan. But in this particular case, I would say pick up something Vampirella before you pick up Unholy. Even like you said, if it's just like, you run into the store and you grab the last 4 or 5 issues, we'll even say Vampirella 45 through 50. To just sort of give yourself so that when you get to the wedding issue and you get to Unholy, you get the full effect. You know what I mean? I'd almost compare it a little bit to, yeah, sure, you can just watch Avengers Endgame. You can kind of figure out what's going on. But if you start from the beginning or even the middle, you get a much bigger impact and you feel like it's worth more rather than, I dropped $4, $3.50, I get a discount from my pull list, whatever, and I bought it. And, it's kind of cool, but you know what I mean? I really think that this particular book, and again, normally I tell people just buy it. But in this case, I would absolutely recommend picking up some stuff first.
I appreciate that.
So Dave has a request real quick.
Sure.
Kyle, if for a couple of minutes, if you could just blow up our screen so they can see what's on the rack. What Dave's saying is a good suggestion. And real quick, and we'll continue this conversation.
Real quick, let me just say this too. To contrast, no, Sheena you can pick up right away. Sheena you can pick up from the jump because he asked about 2 things. Right. Sheena is sort of ready to go. I mean, you don't need to know more than this is like an adventure, like adventure, Queen of the Jungle sort of thing. Sheena sort of gets recreated, reinvented every series, so it's okay. Vampirella has a long history, and I would very much, I'm not saying you have to go back to the 70s and buy 5 long boxes worth of books, but I would go back and buy a few other things, maybe something in a dollar pull list, right. Or maybe you go online and find something. Like a lot of times I'll see Comixology, they'll have something you can order a comic and it's like half price or something on a particular day. If you can grab like a graphic novel for like $10 and catch up, it's well worth it.
All right, so Ron, which banner are you talking about? I'm not sure, because we're looking at it slightly from a slightly different screen during the broadcast. Oh, never mind. I guess Kyle took care of it.
We still can't actually see the bottom row. If you could tilt the screen down a little, that would help as well.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, John, because I felt that way too. I usually tell people from the Dynamite titles I've read, they all seem like a very good, like a start point. Like you could pick this up and you could be in the actual, the series. You won't have any problems. This one, though, I kind of did a quick glance at it, and to me, it was like, I just don't think if I picked this up right now, I would really appreciate the full story.
No, you're absolutely right. A lot of times, I'm not, like I said, I've been reading Dynamite comics for 17, 18 years. I started 1 year after they published, and there have been a few times, not often, but there have been a few times where I tell people, you should start at the beginning, like somebody pick up a random issue of like Legendary. And I'm like, no, do yourself a favor and start from the beginning. And you're absolutely right. This is a thing where it's well written and drawn, but it's kind of the culmination of a story that has been running for years and is pulling from threads from the 70s and 80s. So I don't want people thinking, oh my God, I got to buy 500 books to enjoy this. But yeah, you should pick up a few things.
Or you just go to John's house and read the 500 books. That's the other option.
It's funny. I actually have a stack of Vampirella stuff on my table in the den. It's really funny.
All right. So Dave has made a request. So we're going to go right to that book. Silk Volume 2, Number 1, Dynamic Forces exclusive by Greg Land. We have one available for $29.99 tonight. And then we'll get to another best offer book here in a minute. Let's see. Okay. Yes, you are correct, my friend. Let's see. Let's look at the. Yes. Wow. Look at Lars, man, right on top of it. You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct, my friend. It is an edition of 3000. It was a DF exclusive.
Yep.
So that is available tonight. We have one available for $29.99. And
Can
right
we
now,
see
it's
the
pretty
bottom?
hot.
Everybody's cool with the bottom row now.
I think so, but
We're good?
we'll just get to it.
Okay.
So actually, the Batman
The Ken
Joker
Hazer
war.
row.
Well, no, the Batman Joker war that you mentioned actually is the best offer item. So we could have gone to
Hit
that.
it, go.
So sorry, my bad, missed it.
They're like, these guys bag on Batman, and now they're pushing the product. Yeah.
So Batman, the Joker War, the Joker Warzone #1, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8, suggested retail of $89.99. It is a best offer of the night book, starting at $19.39 the year Batman first appeared in Detective 27. So that is available tonight as one of our best offer books. So as I said, anything you need, Alec, we'll send over to you. If you're looking to start picking up and reading, just shoot me an email with what it is that you want to get started on, and we'll send.
If you're going to read Vampirella, let me look around, because if you're going to put together a thing for him, I'll throw a couple things in there that are sort of like what really I tell people all the time. It's cool to read, because I get this all the time. People are like, "Oh man, Vampirella, I want to try it out," or whatever, and I'll usually recommend like 3 or 4 things from different eras.
Right. So both Preston and Dave agrees. As far as Vampirella goes, I would recommend reading from the beginning of the Christopher Priest run.
Yeah.
Whether it's a trade or not, it is that good. Dave totally agrees. And let's see what else. And yep. Okay. So
like people will scream something out, and I'm like, like off the top of my head, if I don't think about it, I'm like, start with Scarlet Legion.
Right.
Because Scarlet Legion is weird. It's kind of in the middle of the story, but because it's in the middle of the story, both you're survived by, you kind of see what's upcoming, which is more current, and you're kind of seeing where she's coming from. There's like a whole, I hate to use this term, there's a whole, I won't say Vampyverse, there's a Vampirella universe of kind of characters, Adam Van Helsing, these characters that sort of have traveled with her from the 70s, starting point, to various incarnations of them show up. They die, they turn into vampires. There's like a reason why they're still alive. Certain characters should be 70 and 80 years old, and you're like, how are these characters not 70 and 80? I don't do spoiler alerts, but one of the things I've always loved about Vampirella, and Nancy Collins talked about this, the podcast, even though you've got this girl, unbelievably powerful and beautiful, and this is Nancy Collins' words, wearing next to nothing, like the hint of a costume. But they really bend over backwards to make the stories connect. That's a big the connectivity is a big Tom Snigalski thing, right? Mm-hmm. Because he, like me, he's got the Warren books, he's got the Harris books, and he's written some of the Harris books. He wants to sort of put everything together, so that this makes sense. And I think, if more than any other character Dynamite has, that sort of history, that connectivity, is sort of like when someone, I guess, pitches Nick, hey, I have a story or whatever. Nick makes sure it fits into the existing, unless it's an alternate reality thing, that's a different story, right? But if it's an ongoing Vampirella story, like, I don't know if 15 or 20 years ago somebody had said to Nick, let's do Vampirella marries Dracula, I don't know if that would have got the green light it got last year.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because now there's been like enough time, like storytelling time. And I'm not trying to put words in Nick's mouth. I'm looking at it from the point of, I don't know if I'd have been ready for that in 2000 as a Vampirella fan, right? But they've moved the story along in such a way that it totally makes sense now.
So Dave's trying to encourage Alec to read X-Men. Preston jumped in that Claremont spoiled him. That era of the X-Men has been just, it made me a huge fan as well.
I mean, I got it right here.
Oh, look at that, buddy.
Nice.
Attaboy. Ready to go.
I've only read like 2 issues out of it, though, sadly.
Well, you can make the argument that when the X-Men won the Eagle Award,
that's got good ones in it.
The conversation of comics as serious literature took a much bigger turn. Because it was pop art. People kind of, you had this old generation of people who call them funny books, right? And then you had the Marvel Age people who were like, it's pop art. but still nobody was thinking of this in terms of like literary weight, even though you were getting amazing stories like the Coming of Galactus or whatever. When you get Claremont kind of, so starts with Cockrum, moves into John Byrne era, and you start getting these stories, these really sort of heavy, relevant stories where all the characters are fleshed out. And Claremont talked about this on the thing he did for Amazon Prime, about literally he could tell you how much change Banshee had in his jacket pocket. Like, that's how much he had written about each character. And that's why this era is so, you know what I mean? Because it's not only the characters,
Right.
It's their alter egos that have been, written to down to the molecules practically.
So real quick, Lars Mann is starting us off on the Batman Joker Warzone #1 CGC for 30. I got you, Lars Mann. I know that you have viewing you got to go to. Just let us know when you check out. I will definitely let you know if you win. We'll let you know tomorrow. No problem there. But yeah, I mean, to me, it was a significant change. You're gonna love this. I read a lot of Batman prior to that, and and Superman. And don't make that face, John.
Yeah.
You make
You're
that
ruining the show.
Yeah, but I don't have to bring up Batman to do it. But that period, yeah, he turned them into. All of a sudden, you went from, how super cool would it be to be a superhero and, with your cape and, doing stuff and fighting crime and whatever, and turn them into real people with real problems, real everyday problems. I think we had talked about this. I don't know if it was with Alec or it was with Robbie. We talked about, maybe you were here too, favorite character. And I said it was Cyclops, and I know who was it that thinks Cyclops is just
Gail Simone.
Yeah, Gail Simone.
If you follow her on Twitter, Gail Simone uses Cyclops as like a punchline.
Yeah, but you see,
She abuses that character.
For me, the reason he was my favorite character was he had this power, but the power was such a curse.
Yeah.
He had to wear the ruby glasses and, he couldn't control it. And that humanized the character. I mean, look, be honest, I love the character of Colossus, but dude, you can change back from metal to human whenever you want.
I have trouble.
How is this?
I have trouble sympathizing with. I turn into like a metal superpowered character, and my alter ego is like I'm a ripped, good-looking dude that are turning girls' heads. I'm sorry, man. That's not really like a struggle. You know what I mean?
This is what I'm saying.
I mean,
Storm. Oh, you can fly. You can control the weather. Wow. And if you don't do that, then nobody knows you're a mutant. I mean, So to me, that's why the Cyclops character was so engaging, was that he had a real, you could call it a handicap that also turned out to be a power, but he couldn't just go on and live a normal life.
It's almost to a certain extent, and this is a little bit of reach, but it's almost like the Daredevil thing, right? Yeah, I can't use my eyes, but I kind of swapped one sense for 4 other senses that are really good, plus this radar thing. I don't like, they tell me Cyclops, I mean, I don't know if that guy has ever seen anything outside the red spectrum.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, Preston brings up a good point. He says, what about Nightcrawler? That is a very good point. I'm not sure. I don't know why. The character is very engaging. That was for sure. And he was a very interesting character as well because, he was very religious, yet he looked like a demon, which I thought was an interesting juxtaposition there. And was just such a good person, but obviously his outwardly appearance did not convey that. So he wasn't my favorite character, but I do like the character of Nightcrawler. So that was definitely the same. But that's what I'm talking about. X-Men during that era, it just and they were headed in that direction because Beast turned into an actual beast. He turned blue and fuzzy. So they were moving in that direction even with the original X-Men.
Well, Beast might be the character in Marvel Comics that's evolved the most.
Yeah,
I mean, he started as a caveman-looking dude, and then after a couple issues, Kirby and Lee decided to make him. Oh, it'd be funny if he was a genius, but in a Neanderthal's body, and that worked for a long time. And then, in an attempt to cure himself, first he turned into, if I remember correctly, in Amazing Adventures, he's gray. Then, because of some kind of color or print thing, he's blue. And now you look at him, he's almost like a character from the cast of Cats. You know what I mean? They've gone really, really far where he's like licking his paws. And I'm like, I love the Beast, but I wish they would just dial that back a little bit to maybe be a little bit more,
Right.
anthropomorphic.
All right, so let me get some of these the rest of these best offer books out of here
You
before we
cannot
have to.
possibly have more of these things.
I do. I swear I do. I'm looking at the sheet here. That's why it's in red because so I can see these. All right, so the next best offer book is Flash Gordon #1, high-end Mark Lamming, black and white, ultra limited edition cover. Suggested retail of $100. It is one of our best offer books, starting at 10.
That's awesome.
And then you know what?
There's only 25 of these, and I'll tell you right now, there's probably only 24 of these because I'll wind up taking one of these home because I don't think I have number one.
Are you sure you didn't already take one?
I might have, or I'll have to check. Wait, I have a pull list and a sneak list. I'll have to say.
You notice John never brings a bag in because we won't allow him.
My
to.
backpack.
Okay, we won't allow him to. So let's see. So Stevie B says, I still like the shot Adams Palmer the best. Plus the shock value at the time that Neil was working at Marvel. So Lars Man's gonna start us off on Flash Gordon at 10. Gotcha, Lars Man.
I love that. There's that short little period where it's Roy Thomas and Neil Adams on the X-Men, and I don't think that gets quite as much credit as it deserves because that really is the gear shift from, the Lee and Kirby stuff to what Claremont would do. Right. It's almost like you can see they're moving in that direction because when Roy Thomas takes over the book, immediately he's like, these characters are almost cartoonishly simple for 1970, whatever the year is, right? Readers had already gotten more sophisticated in just the 7 or 8 years of the Marvel Age. So you kind of see him, and then you've got, of course, Adams at the time. It's like the hot young artist with a much more realistic style. Then, keep in mind, as much as I like those early books, you had guys like Werner Roth drawing the X-Men. He's like a comic strip guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So by even 70 standards, you already had guys like Thorne and Vallejo out there showing you what you could do in 2 dimensions.
So Stevie B meant short-lived. We got you, buddy. Typing is your kryptonite. We got you. All right, so let's see. What time is it? Oh, we got time for one more.
Do a best offer book because apparently we have 9 more of them.
Well, we do. So we got Legendary #3, high-end Joe Benitez, Virgin Art, Ultra Limited Edition cover. Suggested retail of $100. It is our other best offer book starting at $10 tonight as well. All right, so
you guys have heard me talk about Legendary a lot.
Yes, we have.
Legendary. This particular, I really like the Virgin covers for these. Really, like any Virgin cover is sort of an improvement in seeing the art, but because of the nature of Legendary, this almost makes it look like a like almost like a sepia tone type thing. It's very cool.
Yeah, once you get all right, Lars, man, you're in on it. It's 10. Gotcha, buddy.
And the story is,
when you don't have the trade dress, it makes it easier to see the entirety of the art as well. All right, Lars, man, I've got you down for 10, bro. So that to me, I love it. I mean, when we're trying to do like pull things for the show and stuff, it makes my job a little harder because now I actually have to look in the book or whatever to find out what issue and so on and so forth. So Dave says John is now on record that he prefers
what
virgins.
Fair enough.
Oh, Davis salty today, man. He's cracking on me too, man.
Sir, this is a Wendy's. What are you doing?
But I only like read the ones where he cracks on you. I don't read the ones where he cracks on me.
I know, right? Those get edited out.
So to throw this out there before we go to our next break, all right. So I don't know why it came up in one of my news feeds on Facebook, but it was, and I remember it happening, but it seems to have fallen under the radar. I guess there's a lot going on in the world these days, certainly. But obviously, I guess it was September, October, when Marvel just pretty much sued everybody and their mother, all of the creators and their heirs, obviously in a panic. I believe it was initiated by all the copyright terminations, that were being sent out by, Stanley's brother and everybody else, because and there's a topic for discussion that we'll pick up on after the break. I don't know how people feel about that, the whole work for hire situation, but certainly I read an obscene number. Certainly when all of this was happening, and I know, I was talking to Mariano and ECAs about it earlier in the day. Certainly it happened with Superman and so on and so forth, but this was just an obscene number. Spider-Man generates $1.3 billion a year in revenue.
Yeah.
I believe it.
And I don't think anybody back in the day thought it was going to be like that. Okay.
I mean, they sent Steve Ditko's family like $90 a year. So that seems fair, right?
And on that note, we're going to go to our second break and we'll be back. All right. In a few minutes to discuss this particular issue.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales. They say it, and it's true, that everything is getting faster, you're not getting any younger, and time is the single resource that you can never get back or get any more of. So why walk into your local comic shop blind when you can go in laser focused on the best books on the shelf?
Hi everybody, and welcome to Minute to Skim It. Yeah!
Spend 1 hour with Miss Jen and Bean, and they'll give you rapid-fire reviews of all the new comics hitting stores. Spend less time shopping and more time reading.
This is Provenance of Secrets.
This is The Heathens. I read Wolverine number 17.
Minute to Skim It, every Tuesday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
All right, we're back. And before we get started on our conversation, let's get this last best offer book out of the way. So it is Vampirella number 33, high-end Fabiano Neves, black and white, ultra limited edition cover. It is has a suggested retail of $75, and it is also a best offer book starting at $10. Neil, thanks for joining us tonight, buddy. And yes, we are way behind. Let's definitely talk before the end of the week, my friend. So that's out there as well. But let me see here. Everyone claims success. All right, I'm reading Lars, man. You won't be standing in line to collect money on. Let's see. You won't see people standing in line to collect money on Darkhawk or Captain Karen. Work for hire is real. I work in software, and it is all work for hire. Nilo says, I do think the work for hire scenario needs to change because these companies have made billions off creators who've tended to receive so little. Dave says, work for hire, even modern writers like Scott Schneider and James Tinian have talked about it. Oh, Preston's in for $2 on the Vampy. I got you, buddy. Let me make sure I write that down because my memory's not so good. All right, Preston, $10 on to open us up on the Vampy. Appreciate that, buddy. All right. Let me read the rest of it. Spider Girl 69 has joined us. Thanks for saying that. X-Men CCA, please. You got it, Ron. So we've gotten all the best offs out of the way. Let's do a quick CCA and we continue with this conversation. So for those new viewers out there, a CCA is what we are renaming what we used to call remarks, mainly because we think that certainly the work of Ken Hazer and these blank sketch covers have kind of separated themselves, because a remark really is you go to a con, you're standing there waiting for a creator to sign it, and he does a quick line sketch for you, a headshot of a character, whomever it may be. Whereas, we're seeing the ones from Marion and Nicieza, certainly Ken Hazer, and a bunch, I think we sold a Jay Lee one, not too long ago.
The Catwoman Batman thing?
I think it was, yeah.
It was just incredible. It was just incredible.
And we feel like, this has its own category. It's become a real niche in comic collectibles. So,
we're going to tell people what CCA stands for.
So CCA, thanks to our buddy Dave Cerrone, stands for Comic Cover Sketch Art. Yeah, I'm sorry, say again?
Commission cover art.
Commission Cover Art. What Amy just said.
She looked at
You
us
got-
with such
I should just
loathing
start
and
drinking
disgust.
during the show. I mean,
You guys really do need to trademark that, though.
that's above
Honestly.
yeah, but that's still above my pay grade. So, all right. So Ron wants to claim.
So Nick doesn't want me
Uncanny-
to call them stuff I asked Ken to draw on blank covers anymore?
That's a little cumbersome, isn't it? Uncanny X-Men #1 blank variant edition with X-Men sketch by Ken Hazer. $89.99 just retail, 5-star at $50, and Ron has claimed it. All right, Ron, you got it. I actually picked that one up for Ron. I picked that one out for Ron because I know Ron is really getting into the colored ones, and so I'm trying to make sure that every show we have one.
I know Cyclops fans will hate me for saying this, but when he did his heel turn, he became much more interesting. When he was sort of like the good guy, I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. But it's kind of
just
dumb.
so you know, John, this is not my happy face. Okay?
When he did his heel turn, I just I was like,
So here's the thing. Yeah. So I hear what Large Man is saying about work for hire. So I don't know anymore. I don't know. I mean, certainly the whole concept of work for hire created the mass exodus of Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee and whatever during that period. And, they went off and created Image Comics, owned their characters and so on and so forth.
There's like a great biography about that on Amazon Prime. It's just really cool. And it's interviews with the creators themselves. And they just kind of talk about that, like how they sort of.
So from what I'm reading, here's the problem as it pertains to Marvel specifically. All right. You had that hoopla with Superman, obviously, and Batman, but Superman, Schuster and Siegel, and the issues that they had there, obviously with DC Comics. But I think one of the arguments that they're pushing forth, the attorneys representing the families, is that Stan Lee had kind of a different approach. He kind of left it open. So, whereas before your work for hire was more specific, it was, this is where we want to go with it. This is what we want you to write. Stan kind of left it open to the creators and allowing them to collaborate. Like, well, I don't know, let's, here's the basic framework. You guys figure it out. So it kind of opens up that question, and our camera is tilted. I noticed.
So I do a lot of work for hire work.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Kyle. Say that again.
I do a lot of work for hire work, especially in the graphic design field.
Right.
And most of the time, when you get a work for hire contract, they say, "We want you to draw this logo. This is what we're going to pay you," and then we own the logo. And great. What Stan did was, well, hey, come and hang out in the bullpen and work on these books. And it was never so explicit as the, hey, you don't own anything kind of clearness that, you expect today. So what I know a lot of work for hire guys do today is they negotiate into their contract an ownership share.
Right.
So it's, Marvel owns, if I create this character, Marvel owns it, but I get 6% of whatever comes out, or 10% or whatever it is.
That's a very good point, Kyle. So it is starting to evolve. I think that the argument here is that, we understand the work for hire concept, but the problem is that when these characters were created, nobody expected there'd be this much money on the table. One of the chats, I forget who it was, and I don't feel like scrolling up to find it, but they said that, all of the comic book, publishers as a whole didn't earn anywhere close to the kind of money that Spider-Man revenue has drawn in any given year. So it has grown beyond, even the Superman issue way back in the day. It's nobody really saw this. Dave says, Rex, on this very subject, I posted Jim Shooter's editorial compensation on my Instagram. I you know what? If you could post that on the chats, I'd love to read it, my friend.
Not now. We have books to sell.
We have stuff to talk about, my friend. But all right, Ron wants to see another slab book. So let's do another slab book real quick. Let's do
Gwen and Carnage. We were just talking about a few minutes ago. We were talking about the hyper exposure of the whole symbiote
right
thing. And in all fairness to the symbiote thing, I'm going to say this: Marvel in particular has a habit of doing that. When mutants were hot, everything and everyone revolved around mutants, right?
Well,
you know what I mean? So yeah, when something hits, Marvel in particular really hits that button until it breaks.
All right, so let me get this out of the way real quick. King in Black, Gwenom versus Carnage #1, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have it tonight for $69.99. And when we go to our next break, I have to fix this camera. It's like we're on a boat. We're sliding this way.
Don't you remember like the old Batman show, the way the villain headquarters was always sideways?
Yes.
That's the way it is right now.
But we need a big pow.
It's like I'm King Tut and your bookworm, and
we need like a big pow on the screen. Can you do that, Kyle? Pow, bang. So
now he's got to do special effects.
I don't know. You're the one that brought up the Batman thing. It's an emergency test. Let's see. Nilo has something interesting. Isn't the Invincible creator being sued by his inker because the inker claims he was told he would be given partial ownership rights, and how Invincible creator wants to deny that partial ownership? I had not heard that, but if anybody else knows something about it, that's interesting. Emmy Comics, what's going on, buddy?
I've heard Kirkman had some kind of legal issue brewing. I didn't know specifically it was the inker. I know the original creator of Invincible, co-creator, Corey Walker, I think his name is.
Right.
He had reached an accommodation fairly early on once Invincible seriously took off. And I guess at some point too, Kirkman knew I'm going to be a monster in this industry and it's going to rain money. So he was very generous with both Corey Walker and I think Ryan Otley is the guy that took over after that. So those guys got taken care of. I don't know how far down the roster he was promising to take care of people, if that's even the case.
Right.
I mean, I'm certainly not denigrating inkers or letters or anything like that at all, right? But generally speaking, when you're looking at profit sharing or whatever you want to call it, usually it's between the primary writer and the primary artist. And I'm not even saying it's fair, but inkers, colorists, letterers, these people sort of, editors,
right?
They sort of get left out of the percentage process, we'll call it.
So John Spilios in the house. Let's see. You're right, Ron. We should do a recap for our buddy John Spilios. And Emmy Comics. I have not seen anyone watch the Bill Finger documentary. That was pretty sad. I have not watched it, but I may look for it now. All right, so let's.
It's also on Amazon, and it's not great. It's well done, but it's not upbeat. I'll put it that way.
Okay, got you. All right, so let's. Nilo says, yeah, that documentary got me bummed.
It's not great.
So, all right. So Dave says, short version, Kirkman asked co-creators to relinquish rights on paper so he could shop properties in Hollywood as the sole owner, but side agreements to continue royalties. Interesting. All right. So we're going to do a real quick recap for John, our buddy John Spilios. So as always, John, we started with the Dynamite 10-pack reader set. Suggested retail $40 or higher, $5 as always. Then we had we did mostly best offers in the first hour just to get those out of the way, give everybody enough time. We had FF #1 signed by Matt Fraction. It is one of our best offer books, and Preston is currently in the lead at $10. Let's see. Then we had Uncanny X-Men went to Ron. We had Flash #39 blank variant signed and cover sketch art by Ken Hazer with a Flash sketch. And it is one of our best offer books, just retailed $89.99. Ron is currently in the lead at $20. Then we had Flash Gordon #1, high-end Mark Lamming, black and white, ultra limited edition, suggested retail of $100, and that is one of our best offer books starting at $10. And Lars Man is currently in the lead at $10. Then we had Batman, the Joker War Zone #1, CC graded, guaranteed 9.8. And that is also a best offer book, suggested retail of $89.99. Lars Man is in the lead at $30 for that one. Then we had the Frank Thorne Red Sonja 45th anniversary black and white Berserker edition collector's statue. This sits at 12 inches high and 3¼ inches wide at the base. Suggested retail of $275. It is also a best offer item. And Ron is currently in the lead at $80. Then we had Legendary #3, high-end Joe Benitez Virgin Art Ultra Limited Edition covers, just retail of $100. Lars Man is in the lead at $10. Then we had Vampirella #33, high-end Fabiano Neves Black and White Ultra Limited Edition cover. Another best offer book. Preston is in the lead at $10. And then we had the Justice League of America Deluxe Mega Set, which includes, with a suggested retail of $739.96, includes Justice League of America #1 blank variant ultra limited edition cover signed by Steve Orlando and cover sketch art by with a Batman sketch by Ken Hazer. Justice League #1 signed by Scott Schneider. Detective Comics #1027 signed and cover sketch art by Ken Hazer with a Batman sketch. Detective Comics #1000 Dynamic Forces exclusive pencil sketch art variant cover by Dan Jurgens. Ultra limited pure pencil sketch. CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. And we have it tonight for $299.99. And Nilo is going to all right, let me find the statue. So Nilo is in the statue at 85. Gotcha.
That's a nice statue.
So Nilo is now currently the high claim at $85. So Preston says, can't complain. We might get some snow, but I don't think it'll be more than flurries. Still have to bring the dogs in tonight. Preston, I don't know what part of the country you're in. They don't really know, man. If this snowstorm hits a few miles east, we'll get practically nothing. If it hits a few miles further west, we're going to get hammered. I think New England, the Boston area is slammed no matter what, because no matter what, they're going to get hammered.
Yeah, you follow the track of the storm, at least what I've seen, and we're sort of right on the razor's edge. So
yeah, it all depends on where it is.
We
on
might
shore.
be okay. There are people up in Providence, Rhode Island. That town is going to be shut down.
Yeah, they're going to get hammered.
They're going to get hammered.
I've been hearing that we're going to get some snow too. I was actually going to go see a Sixers game this weekend, but my friend's a little hesitant right now.
Well, it's
you know what? I don't know if this is the ideal weekend. I mean, because if you do get the snow,
well, you have a little bit further to drive too, though.
It's about an hour. I think an hour 30.
Right?
You're in Allentown.
I'm in Allentown.
Allentown.
So you probably won't see anything near your house, is what I'm gathering by this storm. Because if you get significant snow, we're getting buried.
Oh yeah,
because it's coming from the east. But driving into Philly may be a headache because because it's going to be because that's east of you. So it's hard to say, man. They don't know right now. They're saying the models are all over the place. So
it's it's a small hike. And my friend's saying the same thing. He's like, I don't want you guys to drive all the way down here and potentially get stuck down here, and then something happens even going to the game. And I mean, I don't blame him. We'll see how it goes.
All right, so Ron has requested Witchblade next. Emmy Comics lives in LA. It's 70 there. We hate you, Emmy. John Spilios is in Florida, and it's in the 50s. Oh, you must have your parka out now, John. I know how you Floridians deal with that kind of cold. All right, so let's do Witchblade next.
Oh, this is cool. I didn't see which one this is. This is like a Chris Giarusso thing.
So, you're right. So Witchblade number 161, Chris Geruso variant, signing gold by Tim Seeley. Suggested retail of $49.99. We have it tonight for one available. Buy it now, $19.92 for the year that Image launched, which is ironic.
You only signed 5 of these. This is 5 of 5.
So you have a wind chill advisory of -30. That's Kyle.
I don't even care where you live.
That's
Just
Kyle.
Move. Oh,
It's Ohio.
South.
Man, that's
South
cold,
Pole.
dude. That is really
Yeah,
cold.
it's -30 is going to be like the high tonight.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Tonight AEW is doing Bash at the Beach, and I'm like, what beach is anyone going to in Ohio?
All
in
right,
January?
so Preston is claiming the Witchblade. Gotcha, Preston. Got you down, buddy.
That's really nice.
Yeah, it is a really nice book. I love that cover. But
What
yeah,
else have
so
we had? Uncanny X-Men is gone?
Oh man, why are you going to do it now?
I'm trying to make room for more stuff.
Let's see. Uncanny X-Men went to Ron. And then everything else was a best offer, I believe. So you can't take anything else down. Oh, wait. A Witchblade you took down. Yeah, I think that's it. Everything else is best offer at the moment. All right. So, yeah. So I listen, they don't know. I mean, at least they're being a little bit more honest. And, they're all the stories I'm reading, they're like, look, they'll know better tomorrow because I guess part of the storm has made landfall. So they're able to
better when it starts snowing.
Yeah, right. Oh, look, it's snowing.
I mean, that's how it usually goes, It's like, oh, look, there's the snow. I guess it is coming.
You know what? I just hate to there are two things I hate. I hate shoveling my driveway and I hate digging my car out. Okay. And now, I got to dig my daughter's car out too because she won't do it. And then she'll last, oh my gosh, I swear that kid, she makes me crazy sometimes. But anyway, so I get up in the morning, put my boots on, go out, so I'm just
And
hoping.
you think all that digging is better than you just looking at her and going, sucks to be you, and walking away?
Well, then I'm the one that's got to fix whatever problem results when she doesn't get there.
How old is she?
21.
Oh, no. You're out of contract now.
Yeah,
that's what you said. All right, so Ron wants to see another CC. Oh, he wants to see the Thor. All right.
That Thor's so badass.
Thor's, rather.
Thor's.
All right, so we have Thor's number 1,
This is so
signed
nice,
in cover
man.
sketch art by Ken Hazer.
That's nice.
And let's see, that is a suggested retail of $89.99. It is one of our 5-star at $50.
There's Kirby dots in there, magenta colored Kirby dots.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, you know what? We've talked about it. We tried
Just
to
going
put it up
immediately.
in December or in January, but we're still going to work on getting Ken Hazer on here and hopefully do maybe 2, maybe 3 covers for us. While we're streaming. We did that with Mariano Nicieza, and that was really cool.
That was a lot of fun. When we did that.
So yeah, that was super fun because I mean I've never really seen the creation at work, if you know what I mean. It's not something that you normally see a lot.
One of my low-key favorite things to do at a con is roll up to a creator when they're working or finishing like commissions and stuff like that. Not to bother them because that's not cool. But to just
you wouldn't want
watch
to do that.
I watched John Romita Jr. do it one day, and it was just neat to watch where he starts with the page, and it's just like the slightest hint of stuff. And like a couple hours later, it's Daredevil, and you're like, man, that is wild. Like we'd come back and we'd go, we'd come back and we'd go, and we'd hit like a panel and come back, and it's the same sketch. It's crazy.
Ron, I just want to say to Ron that herding cats is way easier. It's like herding cats in here. Let's see. All right, so we did the last. Did we do the last? That was the last CCA, right? I think it was. I'm not sure.
We did Flash. We did Thor's.
That's what I just said, Preston.
X-Men is gone.
X-Men is gone.
I'd be surprised if somebody doesn't take Thor's, man. That's a really kind of weird, unique color combination. I like that a lot.
No, if no one takes that, I think I'm taking it at the end of the night.
There you go.
I actually
it's
love
very
Thor.
cool. It's hard to see it, but in person, the magenta Kirby dots just pop. Like, you know what I mean? It's
always amazing, and
nice.
And just a kind of a sneak peek. Don't be too surprised if we have CCAs of Peacemaker, maybe Eagly.
Not Eagly.
Yes, I love Eagly. Don't badmouth Eagly, John.
I'm super
It's not
happy
gonna
with
end well for
Peacemaker.
you.
I'm super happy with Peacemaker.
So
I think they did. I mean, I certainly don't. I don't think they're trying to be serious. I think they're just trying to be entertaining
yes.
and tell a good story. And they're hitting nothing but threes there.
So JD's claiming eagerly now. I don't have it yet, bro. You got to wait for the show, man. I don't know when it's coming in.
Do we have anybody who can draw in this building? Can they just do one real quick?
Yeah, Mariano, but he left.
I don't blame him. I'd leave too. I'm so annoying.
Okay, everybody who's currently in the everybody's currently in the building can't draw a stick figure to look like a stick. All right, so our last slab book is at request of Ron. Tales from the Dark Multiverse. Flashpoint number 1, CGC graded 9.8.
I gotta move this out a little bit more for people to see. This thing is so cool.
So suggested retail of $89.99. We have this one available for $56.19 for 1956 when Flash first appeared in Showcase number 4. So that I believe is our last slab book of the night. Believe it or not.
There's almost, I guess because of the way they did the ink or whatever, there's almost like a semi-fluorescent quality to this cover.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
So and guaranteed 9.8. All right, so yeah, so I don't know. I mean, you know, in terms of looping back the conversation about work for hire and Marvel suing everybody and their mom.
Marvel.
I guess
Excelsior
right now,
is what it says on your when you get served.
What I think is going to be a big problem for Disney and Marvel is the bad PR this is going to generate. Okay, when you're making $1.3 billion off of Spider-Man annually, okay, and you're trying not to pay creators. I mean, I believe they're all going to settle, but you know the PR backslap could be. You know.
Yeah, but people who create comics make tens of dollars every month.
So
I don't understand what their complaint is.
Yeah, what's the problem? You know, you created a character and now they make movies, TV shows, they have rides in Disney. I mean, you know, what's there to complain about? Then don't forget all the merchandise that they sell when you get off the ride, right? When they bombard you. Isn't it funny? Every ride ends at the store in Disney. So, but you know, I don't know. I do see both sides of that argument. It's just that when you hear about, you know, especially some of the original creators like a Kirby or a Siegel or Schuster, you know, guys like that, you begin to wonder, you know, that's a heck of a lot of money.
I'm not even thinking that far back. I'm thinking to Brian Michael Bendis talking about sitting at Marvel, basically re-kickstarting the universe with the Ultimates line in the dark because Marvel was in various receivership and Revlon or somebody owed it.
Right.
And he's at the bullpen and the bullpen's dark. Everything's dark. There's like 5 people working on 3 floors. And he talks about this. He's like Bob Cratchit. He's got like a sweater on and he's over there trying to recreate the Marvel universe. And management cared so little. When he said, "Oh, I'm going to do this, like an ultimate version, blah blah blah, do this and that," fine, we don't care. Just put something that we can sell and make some money. And the guy is doing it with like one overhead light flickering. You know what I mean? And he's doing it like on an old laptop, and they're like, "Yeah, don't put in for a new laptop or anything. We're not interested." So this is that far back.
So, John, which book are you claiming? Just to make sure. Let us know, John Spilios. I assume is it Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Flashpoint number 1.
Oh, you should absolutely take that. It's very cool.
Yeah. Well, John says he claims, but he didn't mention which book. That was the last book that we did.
That was the last book that we did.
So we'll see. All right.
So real quick, just to throw in on this, something interesting is I talked to Fabrice Sapolsky, who created Spider-Man Noir this past weekend on the EXP Expo. And he talks about getting invited to go see Into the Spider-Verse. And a bunch of guys got credited, and he didn't, even though his character was in it. And he's sitting on a row with a bunch of other guys who had characters prominently featured who got no credit. And he went to his lawyer or whoever after, and it was explained to him that what they're doing, and this is where Disney and Marvel are going to get in real trouble, is they're changing the characters just enough that they don't have to credit the original creator with the character that's in the movie.
No, that's bad look, man. That's bad. Ooh.
So, all right. So John's saying that was a mistake. No problem, John. You're good, buddy. All right. So Ron wants to see the next signed book, and let's throw that out there before we have to go to break then. All right. So we have Suicide Squad #1 signed by Jim Lee, and that has a suggested retail of $299.99, and we have it tonight for $198.70. And we have one available at that price. And certainly, that's an interesting conversation, the fact that it's signed by Jim Lee, because Jim Lee was part of that mass exodus, when Image formed in the early 90s. So Ron says he's going to claim the dark multiverse. Gotcha, buddy. Ron,
like I said, it's hard to tell because it's in the bag or whatever. When you get this home, you're going to see what I mean. The way it was colored and printed, it almost has like this kind of real sinister fluorescent quality.
Gotcha,
which
Ron.
I totally dig. I love that.
So it's a beautiful cover. You're going to love it when you get it at home, Ron. I remember that period of time, and I mean, nobody was hotter than Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld. They were rock stars at that point, especially because they left, which meant
they were on talk shows and stuff like that. I remember Dennis Miller had a nightly talk show, and all of a sudden Rob Liefeld shows up one day. Rob Liefeld is in like a Levi's commercial, and one day he shows up with maybe Mark Sylvester. I don't know. He shows up on MTV one day, and they're just hanging out talking about the books, and I'm like, that's about as mainstream as it would get in that late 80s, early 90s.
that was an interesting period, and then and then what? Jim Shooter took off the Defiant at that point,
Valiant.
First
he created Valiant, and then somehow that
it just didn't.
That didn't work out. Then he created Defiant, which unfortunately, it was not good.
So, I mean, but, that was a period where we kind of saw this mass exodus, and all of a sudden the generation changed from that original generation of the Kirbys and everybody else, and they changed kind of the formula for it, which I think wasn't necessarily a bad thing, and the success that Image had was good for the industry. But then I think in the last several years, we've seen another shift because of the success of the movies, the MCU, and everything else, which has now put it into another complete level, of, now there's the ridiculous, crazy money,
I think here's a little bit of a problem that some of the plaintiffs are going to have in some of these cases. Not that they're not entitled to the money. That's not what I'm saying at all. But they're going to be asking judges to make rulings that will become precedent.
Yes, that's true.
So let's just say John and Jane Doe create a really popular character, Captain Adventure, right? Captain Adventure is suddenly on HBO Max and making a ton of money. They probably deserve a piece of that money. However, every lawsuit that comes after that, they're going to use that as a precedent.
Right.
They're going to say, what about the John and Jane Doe Captain Adventure case?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't know how many judges are going to be prepared to make that kind of ruling. I would think, knowing what I know about the restaurant industry, and I was involved in some of these as a consultant, I was involved in some of these legal sort of grapplings. They weren't full-blown lawsuits, but a chef creates something out on the menu. Chef is on Top Chef, puts the restaurant on the map. Then all of a sudden, they're looking for a piece of the business. Generally, what the administrative law judge or arbitrator will say is, Chef so-and-so, restaurant so-and-so, sit down in a room with your lawyers and work this out amongst yourselves. They're reluctant to make a ruling that will have long-lasting implications.
They would rather see them mediated out. So
they would rather see these things mediated out.
Ron, we'll do that as soon as we come back from the break. Villain of the Year book. John Spilios, you know what? I'm going to make a note of that. I know that Lars Mann is a Spidey fan. So John Spilios is looking for Punisher. Thanks for letting me know that. I will definitely, when I put the next show together, I will definitely be looking for both Spider-Man and Punisher books. This is why it's so important for the viewers.
We won't even go on the air on Monday if you don't have them here. It'll just be the test pattern for an hour.
Don't get crazy. All right. So, Kyle, if you would, we'll be back in a few minutes. Stay with us.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey. And behind every page, there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
You don't mind if I'm here for a hot second, right?
Go do your
Oh,
thing,
no.
Amy. Go do it.
Surprise! But Nick was gonna kill me if I didn't show off some of this week's version covers.
Grade.
Yeah. Like I was gonna get yelled at if I didn't show off some of the version covers for this week.
Well, people got so tired of courtroom talk with Rex that he got pulled.
We got metal covers too. You want to look?
Ooh, metal covers are always so cool.
Just have
we'll show these off first.
Just leave these at my desk. Oh wait, there's a problem. The fact that they did both they did metal, they did
these ones specifically. This one's Invincible Red Sonja. It came out like what, a few weeks ago. It's number 6.
Well, here, I'll do it. You talk,
okay, thank you. This can work. I'll just hand you the books and I'll just.
Well,
I
want people to see these. When we tell you these are metal covers, I mean we cannot stress enough that these are really metal covers and they're very cool.
If anyone wants one, they're half price, by the way, so they're $50. And this one's for Vampirella number 25, and it's the cool Ken Hazer homage covers to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
And they're they kind of have like the red sort of. Mm-hmm. These two covers sort of combine a few of my favorite things that Dynamite does. Variant covers, monochrome covers, and the metal is just
very, very nice.
It's very
dangerous, but very nice.
All kidding aside, I almost feel obligated that we should say this. Absolutely, I want people to buy these, but handle them with care. They're legitimately metal covers. It's not like a foil cover that you maybe
not the plastic bags because they'll always tear when you try to get them back.
Your hand. Show them how sharp it is.
That's a negative, Ghost Rider. That's not.
So you want to help me show off some version covers? So this week we got Sheena number 3, I believe, and we got our classics. The one on the screen. Okay, yeah, that was Lucio Perillo. I was gonna say the other one that just got shown was Lucio Perillo. Lucio. We got Lucio Perillo. This one is Rose Besh.
The Rose Besh one in particular. Her work is so distinctive. She's one of those characters that we talk about.
I agree.
Arthur Saddam is the next one.
You probably want to grab
and all the regular version covers are $40 tonight. Nice. Before anyone asks, but yeah, that's the Arthur Saddam cover, and then the last one
Joseph Michael Linsner.
And they're retailing for $50, right?
Yeah, retail's usually $50, so we're making them $40 tonight just for you guys. These are for Vampirella and Dracula Unholy, and this is number 2.
We were just talking about these earlier.
Yeah, this is another Rose Besh cover, which is really, really cool. I love
Rose Besh is slightly, I would put her almost in that Peach Momoko category of her work is distinctive and it's hot, but it's only going to get hotter.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it's, you're kind of thinking, oh, maybe I want to collect this, do it now. don't wait until, you know what I mean, she's doing like Wonder Woman or something or Spider-Man, and you're like, oh, I really wish I'd have bought that one. It was $40.
This is the cosplay one. Really, really nice. It's Diana Palumbo.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought that's.
And the last one's Zoe Lacey. I think that Lachey. If someone knows how to say her name, please let us know.
This is just kind of. There's almost like a slight.
I like this one a lot.
Jay Lee quality to this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A little bit. You know what I mean? So maybe if Jay Lee is in your wheelhouse, maybe that's something you want to consider.
Let's fly through the Red Sonias real quick. I know we got to finish this. Okay, the first Red Sonia that's up. Like there's so many, and I
like an episode of Jeopardy.
Cue the music. Selena does that cover, that version cover. This one's Frank Cho.
The Frank Cho one is just funny. There were a bunch of people talking about this on Comics Twitter yesterday.
Our good buddy the picture that's up right now. Our good buddy Elias did that one. This is Carla Cohen, and there's two for Carla Cohen. There's the ultraviolet one, and then there's the regular version one.
That ultraviolet one is awesome.
I would very much suggest if somebody's thinking buying one of these, grab the ultraviolet cover.
Yeah, that's really sick.
Really neat. Last runs real quick are for Army of Darkness, number 5. First one.
I don't have these images.
I'm using psychic powers to help me remember. John, help me. I'm trying to read your mind.
That's not Lucio Frillo, is it?
No, it's Francesco Mattina. That's it, Francesco Mattina. But we have an Arthur Sedam for this one too, and Stuart Sager. Yeah, that's Arthur Sedam.
Arthur Sedam has, as a pulp fan, there's a certain look that pulp novels had from like the 20s to the 40s, and I think Arthur Sedam channels a lot of that in his work.
And this one's Stuart Sager.
So when he does something like Sheena, a pulp character, it really sort of it connects. It's very. I think that we've had this conversation a bunch of times on this show, and I've talked about this on different blogs and podcasts or whatever. Is every art style right for every character? Yes, no, yes, no. I'm in the no category. I think there are certain characters, and I use this name a lot, John Romita Jr., tremendous amount of respect, comics royalty. I do not think his art style was perfect for Superman. Okay. I just don't. Punisher, Daredevil, these other characters he's done. I just think a character like Superman has to have a certain look. And a certain art style. And I think J.R. Jr.'s work is Superman is probably the most unearthly of the mainstream super characters. He's literally from another planet. I think J.R. Jr.'s work is so based in humanity that it's difficult. You know what I mean? I mean, you look at the art, you look at what has been done with Superman over the years. You had guys that were more and less popular, guys whose art is more or less chase books or whatever. And I think you see the people who were able to channel a character like Superman really being the visitor from another planet work better. John Byrne commented one time that when he was working on Man of Steel, he had a little note reminding him that this is an alien. No matter how human they tried to make him, Byrne was tasked with depowering the character a little bit. He still wanted to remind himself with every panel he drew, especially when he's in the suit, he's not like the rest of us. And I think that when you get one of the things Dynamite does really, really well is pairing up styles with characters. You know what I mean? We've had a ton of really, really great creators. I can count on maybe one or two fingers the numbers of creators that Dynamite's done.
I'll write that down, Ron. But yeah, guys, last reminder, any of the Virgin covers are $40. Please let us know if you want one. And the metal covers are $50. The metal covers.
That's solid stuff.
A metal cover because they will not be $50 again.
All right. Rex, you want to jump back in?
Sure.
All right.
No, you stay. Rex.
Even metal
getting
covers.
more free books.
Yeah, I'll write down.
Amy leaves them
All
on my
right,
desk.
so Ron is claiming the Frank Cho. All right, so you got that down?
Yep.
All right, fantastic. All right, we got you, John.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, so John Spilios, yes, absolutely. I will look for Punisher. We close that there. So,
Yeah, if you were on Comics Twitter yesterday when they released an image, that Frank Cho image, instantly, that's all everybody talked about.
So less than 14 minutes left on the best offers. So let's get through the rest of the books that we have, and then we'll go ahead and do a recap starting with the best offer books. So we've got Harley Quinn, Villain of the Year #1, signed by Mark Russell. Okay, suggested retail of $69.99, signed in silver, and we have one available. Buy it now for $19.94. So that is also available tonight. Then we have Batman and Robin #15, first printing, signed in Joker Purple by Peter Tomasi. Suggested retail of $59.99, and we have one available for $27 for Detective 27. And then let's see. Ooh, this is a good one. Then we have Wolverine #1, signed by Benjamin Percy. Suggested retail of $39.99, and we have it available. One available. Buy it now for $19.77. There it is. I love that red. Then we had Nightwing #71, signed by Dan Jurgens. Suggested retail of $69.99, and we have it tonight for $19.40. Another really great cover. And I love Dan Jurgens' signature. It's well legible on one level, but also you can tell whenever I'm books it's amazing. You can see it.
Yeah, some signatures are. I almost call it like the John Hancock signature.
Like
right?
I really like Jay Lee's signature too. It's sharp and edgy.
It's sharp and edgy, and sometimes he integrates. We've seen covers where he almost integrates it into the cover, and I think that's sort of like you're not sure. Like, is that? Oh, there it is.
All right, and then let me see. What do we got left here? Oh, one last one. The Star Wars #0, the Lucas draft, signed by Mike Mayhew. And we have one available. Buy it now for $19.77 for the year that Star Wars came out.
Nice.
This thing is so cool. I absolutely, when this came out, I mean, a lot of Star Wars people were kind of geeked up about it or whatever, but this thing is super neat. The Star Wars is, people should have this book. I mean, hopefully you buy this one, but if not, go find it. Go to your LCS, go online, whatever your platform is. The Star Wars is really kind of a neat thing to have in your collection.
All right, so let's do a quick recap of the best offer books because we're running out of time. So we had the FF #1 signed by Matt Fraction, best offer book, and Preston is currently in the lead at 10. Again, we were talking about Matt Fraction and the fact that he's really not doing much in the comic world anymore, doing screenplays and stuff like that. Let's see. Then we had Preston's going to claim the Star Wars. Gotcha, Preston. All right, let me get you down.
I'm so
here.
glad somebody grabbed this, man. This thing is, the signature is really cool, too. He only signed 25 of these. This is 12 of 25, just so you know.
So then we had the Flash #39 blank variant signed. Okay, Ron, hold on one second. The Harley Quinn Villain of the Year is signed by Mark Russell. And is available for $19.94. So I want to make sure that Ron knows.
Cool thing here is he signed 60 of these. This is #2 of 60.
All right. So the next best offer book was Flash #39, blank variant, signed and cover sketch art by Ken Hazer with a Flash sketch. Ron that was a best offer book as well. Ron is in the lead at 20. Okay, so the next one was Flash Gordon #1, high-end Mark Lamming, black and white, ultra limited edition cover. Suggested retail of 100. Best offer book. Larsman is in the lead at 10. Then we had Batman, the Joker Warzone #1, CGC graded, guaranteed 9.8. And it is another one of our best offer books, and Larsman is in the lead at $30. And then we had the Frank Thorne Red Sonja 45th anniversary black and white Berserker edition collector's statue. Suggested retail of $275. And Nilo is currently in the lead at 85. Then we had Legendary number 3, high-end Joe Benitez Virgin Art Ultra Limited Edition covers, suggested retail of 100. Lars Man is in the lead at 10. Vampirella number 33, high-end Fabiano Neves Black and White Ultra Limited Edition cover. Best offer book, Preston is in the lead at 10. And that covers it, I think, for our best offer books. Let's see, the Thor CCA. The Thor CCA is still available, actually. Hey, he who remains. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on?
Glad to see you. Let me see. AR, yeah, it looks like AR may walk away with that book there. So then to do a recap of items that were buy it now. As always, 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles, $40 retail or higher. We have it for $5, as we always do. Batman and Robin number 15, first printing in Joker Purple by Peter Tomasi. We have it here for $27 tonight. We have one available. Buy it now. Harley Quinn, Villain of the Year, signed by Mark Russell. We have that available for $19.94. It is also buy it now. Then we have Nightwing number 71, signed by Dan Jurgens. And we have that available for $19.40. Also buy it now. And then Suicide Squad number 1, speaking of the Devils, signed by Jim Lee. Suggested retail of $299.99. We have one available. Buy it now for $198.70. And let's see. And then we had Wolverine number 1, signed by Benjamin Percy. We have a buy it now item for $19.77. And let's see. And then Thor's number 1, signed and cover sketch art by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99, and we have it available for $50. And then let's see. And then we had King in Black, Gwenom versus Carnage number 1, CGC graded 9.8, suggested retail of $89.99. We have it available for $69.99. Then we had, let's see, Silk Volume 2 number 1, Dynamic Forces exclusive cover exclusive by Greg Land. And we have one available. Buy it now for $29.99. And then we had the Justice League Deluxe Mega Set. Suggested retail of $739.96. Includes Justice League of America number 1, blank variant, ultra limited edition, signed by Steve Orlando, and cover sketch art with a Batman sketch by Ken Hazer. Justice League number 1, signed by Scott Schneider. Detective Comics number 1027, signed and cover sketch art by Ken Hazer with a Batman sketch. And then Detective Comics number 1000, Dynamic Forces exclusive pencil sketch art variant cover by Dan Jurgens. Guaranteed CGC graded 9.8. And that, I think, recaps everything, right?
You must be exhausted.
That's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I was going to say that was a lot of stuff.
I got to remember to breathe. See, $20 for Silk, He Who Remains, and $45 for the CGC Gwen slab. Hold on a second. Let me find the Silk. Unfortunately, I see what you're doing. He Who Remains. Unfortunately, Nick is the only one that could lower prices on the fly. So hopefully he's watching, although his office door is closed. So I'm not sure. My guess would be he'd be willing to do it. But, oh, wait, door's cracked.
What happened now?
I'm
still looking for my food.
People are trying to wheel and deal online.
So stop making jokes, Nick. I saw it in the kitchen. I saw the Chick-fil-A box. It's empty. So it's either you or John who ate it, because I didn't have it. I know Amy didn't have it.
Those waffle fries are delicious.
All right. So He Who Remains, we have the Silk book at $29.99. He's making an offer of $20. And the Gwenom, let's see.
I'm sorry, I'm lightheaded. What was that again?
So we had the Silk. He Who Remains is offering $20. We had it at $29.99.
Sure. He Who Remains is we will do it.
All right. So Nick says
Good stuff.
Will do. Wait, I'm not done yet. So hold on. All right. So you got the Silk, He Who Remains, and then let me see. King in Black, Gwenom versus Carnage, number 1, CGC graded 9.8. We have it at $69.99, and he's offering $45 for it.
Who is offering $45?
He Who Remains.
I'll meet you in the middle at $55.
All right. So
And
Nick,
that's actually more in your favor than ours.
so he who remains. Nick says 55 on the King in Black.
It could be 57.50, but I'll do 50 anyway.
He who remains. Actually, you'll see that tomorrow, but it's already thrown in your box with your other shipment. All right. So John Spilios is in on the game too. So he wants to offer. All right, he who remains. Gotcha, buddy. We'll throw that in your box. It hasn't left yet, but we were getting ready to ship it. But we will put it all in one.
What's John asking?
All right, hold on. I'm catching up. Hold on. All right, so John Spilios is offering $199 for the JLA Deluxe Mega Set.
How much do we have it at?
$299.
That's a big set, John. How about 260? Because I'd like to do a little bit better than break even.
All right, so
Can I see that?
All right, so John Spilios, Nick is saying 260 on the JLA Deluxe Mega Set.
Yeah, that's a steal.
And
Looking
he says
at this,
What's in there?
that's a steal. So let us know, John Spilios, buddy.
I
if
should have
you
looked
want-
at it first. If it wasn't John, I'd say 275.
All right, so John is saying it. He is going to take it. You got it, John Spilios, buddy.
What else do we have left? What else are we wheeling and dealing on?
I still can't believe that Thor wasn't taken.
What's the Thor at?
The Thor's is at.
I think
50.
Alex taking that home.
50?
Yeah, Alex has interest in it. Alec has interest.
Alec,
in it.
it's sold. It's free.
All right, so Alec will pick that up for free.
Oh, I'm
interested in the charger.
There is not even a John Cole surcharge that I normally charge.
I know, right? You say,
Okay.
Oh no, I appreciate that. It was
here.
the reason I wanted it. It's going straight to my dad.
Awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
In
Yeah,
that case,
he-
we're not going to charge you shipping either.
I'm a big fan of Gore,
John
the God
Cole's gonna
Butcher.
drive to your house in Allentown. Okay.
I like Alex.
And you know what? He'll bring it
I
by
like it too.
this weekend in the snow. So he'll drive you to the Sixers
All right,
game.
we're
Wait,
running
how
out of
much?
time. If we're going to do any more deals, what do we got left?
Let's
Seriously,
see.
thank you so
We
much,
got
Nick.
Harley Quinn, Villain of the Year #1. We have it at 1994.
All right, we'll do it at $17.99,
All right, so this is now $17.99.
which is really cheap for a $69.99 book.
Then we have Nightwing #71, signed by Dan Jurgens, and we have that at $19.40.
These
We'll make it
discounts,
$17.40,
these discounts are why I never get my
17.40.
books published.
right?
And then we had Batman and Joker
We
Batman and
sold the
Robin.
silk, so you should take that off.
Batman
right
and
there.
Robin
Yeah,
number
yeah.
15, signed in Joker Purple by Peter Tomasi. We have it for $27.
Make it $19.99.
All right, so $19.99. So let's recap those items. So Batman and Robin number 15, signed in Joker Purple by Peter Tomasi.
I'd like to discuss
59.
a Purple Signature Series ceremony.
Wait, so Brandon, I'm so glad you're watching, buddy. I did look into that order. I don't think we have any contact info for you, my friend. So if you would do me a favor and email me at rex.wang@dynamite.com. We have the order, but Manny in our accounting department didn't have any contact information for you, including a ship to address. So Brandon, I'm going to put you down for the Harley, but please, and also if you don't mind, before the end of the show, Kyle will throw up the link for the submission form. What's that?
Preston claimed
Oh,
Harley first.
sorry, Brandon. Yeah, Preston claimed the Harley
Take
first.
the Harley off.
But seriously, Brandon, please email me if you would, rex.wang@dynamite.com. So we have your order ready to go. You filled out the form twice. Is your
1
real
minute
name
the best offer.
Is your real name? We've already gone through that. Is your real name your screen name, Brandon? Because I'll do another search just to make sure. So let me know. But my email is rex.wang@dynamite.com. Just shoot me an email anyway, so I have your email
Any
address.
metal books make it up?
Wait,
So-
somebody took a metal book, didn't it?
I believe it was Ron. Yes.
Yeah, I think Ron took a metal book.
All right. So
Those metal books are incredible.
Yeah, and we got all right. So the best offer books are closed for the night, and looks like we still have Batman and Robin number 15.
Congratulations to the
signed.
winners.
All right. So that's really nice of you, Preston. So Brandon, if you still want the Harley Quinn Villain of the Year, Preston will yield to you. So I'm going to put Brandon's name down. All right. That's a very nice gesture, Preston. Thank you so much. So Brandon, you got that? Shoot me that email, buddy, and we'll get everything squared away. It may have gotten lost in the shuffle, your submission forms. I apologize.
I'd like to
Was
say
any of the CGC graded just sold? Wasn't one like 69? We just did 55.
Was it Quinn and Carnage?
I think that's what it was. Isn't
Yes,
that the
He
one
Who
that
Remains.
He Who Remains? Yep,
Yeah,
take
he
it
took
down.
that. All right, so
Not that, the other.
Oh, this one?
No, that.
That?
Yeah.
All right, Ron says, pass this message along to Nick. Nick, I am still looking for a signed. Are you saying Jim Lee?
Jay Lee, I think.
Oh, Jay Lee. He had
The Batman.
Oh, yeah, that
50.
is an A. Sorry. Jay Lee, Batman Through the Ages cover book.
Yep.
He's
talking about the Batman 50. We were talking. I was talking to Amy about it. She's going to pull it tomorrow.
So, Nilo, any more discounts for any of the Vampy Virgin covers? I don't know.
The $50 ones that we showed today.
Yeah. Well, Amy did it. So
let's do $5 off each.
So, Nilo, that would be
$45?
$5 off each of the Vampy Virgin covers. All right. So
Man, that
so
Rose
that would
Bash.
go from 50 to 45. Or what did you offer them for, Amy?
It was originally 40.
In that case, 35.
All right. So now 35. I'm sorry.
I was
All
going to
right?
say we're going the wrong direction.
No, but John wasn't kidding before. If you've never actually seen one of the metal covers or held one, they're incredible. They
Yeah,
really
they
are.
really cool. I mean, they're true metal. You can feel it.
Yeah.
As I said, the edges are sharp.
I was
We
gonna say
actually
they're
put
really
the-
sharp too.
We actually put the a little note like coffee is hot.
These covers are hot and dangerous.
All right, so He Who Remains says make it 30.
I tell you what, He Who Remains. You buy make it 30. Come on, 35 is as low as we can go. They're in stores today.
All right,
Oh,
so-
and the Besh.
All right,
Yo,
so Preston, Amy, are you keeping track of this because it's not on my list?
Fine.
Okay, so Preston wants the best Vampy for 35. You got it. And then He Who Remains. First, He Who Remains. You got to let us know which ones you're looking for first.
This is the one that Preston just got.
Yes. Okay. If you don't mind giving that to Amy, actually,
Okay.
so we can keep it all straight.
No,
All
that's the one Nilo just got.
What
Yeah,
else?
that's not the Rosebud
This
cover.
one.
Oh, I thought
Oh,
he
yeah.
said. I thought he said. Oh, okay.
Nilo
Sorry.
got the Vampirella kissing the bat. John.
That's Lachey.
Yes, that's the one Nilo got. Then Preston got the Besh, which is the one with what looked like eyes.
Thanks, Brandon, for filling out that form again. I appreciate
All
it.
right. So this is for Preston, and the Lachey is for Nilo, the kissing the bat. Got to jump on these. We only have one of each because these
All
sell
right,
out.
so John knows which covers are the metal ones. John Spilios wants to know which ones are the metal ones.
Well, we sold Red Sonja and we have Vampirella left.
I think we could pull one more Red Sonja. If
We can
somebody
pull
wants
another one. Okay. I
it.
didn't want to.
So here's Red Sonja. Here's Vampirella.
And those are the metals.
Just
Yeah, I'll
so
tell
nice.
John my copy. I want to
So
keep
those
John
are-
happy.
Those are the metal covers there, John Spilios.
And it's the homage cover too for TMNT. That's so nice.
So, and once again, I want to thank all our viewers. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, taking the time out to watch. Alec, as always, thanks, bro.
No, thank you guys. Seriously.
Yeah,
You guys
If
rock.
you do shoot down in Philly, be careful this weekend, bud.
Yeah, seriously. It might be worth it though, dude, because I bet that you'll get to watch. Looks like all right. So John is claiming both metal covers.
Nice.
I think that the Sixers are. Joel is just on fire.
Oh, the dude's
and
been
it'll probably be
insane.
empty
What
because
are the
people
best
gonna avoid
offer
it.
books that we got to take down? The Flash, the Vampirella.
The
What about the metal cover?
Legendary.
John S is taking one of each, Vampirella and Red Sonja. So what are the best offers? Pull the best offer books down. Flash Gordon.
All right. Well, we're almost done here, you boys. So.
I'm trying to give us a clean sweep. So that's what I'm saying. Take the best offer books down.
Oh, take him down.
So, all right. So, we're at 8. I know. Once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, thank you, Alex. Thank you, Kyle, for producing.
No, thank you guys.
Thank you, John, for
You
showing
guys
up.
rock. This is a lot
We
of fun.
appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll have original art. We'll have original art on Friday from 7 to 8 Eastern time here on the Experience, and then Monday and Wednesday, always the same.
The two good-looking guys with the talented assistant. will
We've
be
been
on the air.
replaced.
Oh, Preston. Before we check out of here, Kyle, do you mind throwing the link up for Preston again, please? So that he can turn his submission form in. All right. And Preston, if you don't get it, you can always email me at rex.wang@dynamite.com. Okay. But there it is. Thank you, Kyle, very much. Thank you, everybody. So hopefully we'll see a bunch of people on Friday for Nick's original art show. And then John and I and Alec will be back on Wednesday. Me and John.
Hey, what did the Red Sonja go for out of curiosity?
Which Red Sonja?
Statue?
The statue.
Oh, yeah, who won the statue?
The statue, let's see. It went to Nilo for 85.
Damn, that's cheap.
So Nilo is the winner at 85. All right.
Wow.
So John,
congrats to Nilo.
John, thank you as well. We love you too, man. We love all of our viewers out there. And we'll see you guys next week.